Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, Hillary Miller from the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library will be joining us for an update on some Friends activities. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's gorgeous. Brilliant sunshine, 79 degrees already. We're going to make it up into the mid-80s later this afternoon, nice and dry as well. Comfortable this evening, clear skies, lows will drop off into the upper 50s, and really a pretty nice Memorial Day weekend coming up for most of it. Lots of sunshine around tomorrow, just a few high thin clouds, comfortable with highs tomorrow in the upper 70s. Just a chance for a spot shower, mainly on Sunday afternoon. Won't be a washout by any means and still pretty mild, with highs Sunday into the mid-70s. Memorial Day itself looks a little gray and damp with some afternoon showers possible. Again, not a total washout, but cooler with the highs Monday around 70 degrees. The first half of next week looks a little damp. So enjoy the next few days. Sunshine, 79 in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch is recommending that the salary for the mayor's job here in Quincy increase from about $150,000 to $285,000 per year. Koch said he made that recommendation based on the report of an independent consultant that suggested the pay should be between $300,000 and $370,000 per year.
I've always said it's kind of an interesting dynamic that people don't say boo when it comes to police chief salary, fire chief, superintendent, city managers, town managers. But boy, you mentioned the mayor getting a raise and everybody goes through the roof. It's a strange dynamic. It truly is. The mayor in Quincy, it's a strong mayor form of government. The mayor is the CEO of the city. We do the hiring, we do the firing, we run the day-to-day operations. We move the city forward as far as development goes. We work with our partners at the federal and state level, bringing millions of dollars back to the community. I mean, we've had a great success in every aspect of governing, and again, I say that with all humility. But who else is going to say it? So at any rate, we brought in the number of 285, which is well below the low range that the survey had suggested. It's lower than Plymouth, and it's lower than Cambridge, a town on the south and a city to the north. Again, there's no right or wrong here. I think it would have been wrong to go in the threes, honestly.
Koch also recommended that city councilors' annual salary rise from about $30,000 to $47,500 per year. But Ward 6 Councilor William Harris objected to that proposal. That took it off the agenda for this week's meeting. The City Council's Finance Committee is expected to discuss both salary recommendations at their June 3rd meeting. This week, the City Council did approve expanding the Quincy Center redevelopment district from 62 up to 130 acres. The new area includes the Acapulco's restaurant building in Quincy Center to become a pocket park for President John Quincy Adams. Areas to the north of Dimmick Street, including Planet Fitness, which would be home to an Adams Presidential Center. To the south, down to School Street, plus the Star Market and Granite Place shopping districts. City Council President Ian Kane says the redevelopment project has been a great success so far.
We've looked at this. Of course, this is the Sixth Amendment. This is a long time. I mean, we're 15 plus years into this cycle, and we've done some great work in the downtown already. And there was considerable work that was done before even I joined the council in 2016. But I think Quincy just remains in such a unique position where you're looking at the city of Boston right now, which is failing miserably. You've got commercial rates, commercial rates, tax rates about to rise. You've got huge vacancies in the commercial market downtown, so they're losing a lot of revenue. People are coming to places like Quincy, which are ideally more business friendly and better environment to potentially grow a footprint. And so, I remain optimistic about Quincy's future and the opportunity to fill some of these spaces, especially in light of the fact that there might be a small commercial property taken here or there.
Some residents did express concern, saying the redevelopment area should not be expanded until legal issues surrounding the land occupied by the Adams Academy building are resolved. But the planning board has already approved of the expanded district. The state also has to approve that proposal. Meantime, demolition is underway on 2 buildings on Hancock Street in Quincy Center. Crews earlier this week began tearing down the buildings in the 1400 block of Hancock Street to make way for a new Parkett Park and some outdoor dining for 2 new restaurants that are planned for that area. The buildings used to house a coffee and donut shop and a Taekwondo martial arts studio, both of which have relocated in Quincy Center. The city will also create a pedestrian walkway linking Hancock Street with McConville Way. The demolition is expected to continue through early June, and it may disrupt some traffic along McConville Way. Controversy continues over a planned 4-story, 9-unit condo complex across from the historic Adams Birthplaces on Independence Avenue in South Quincy. During a presentation to the Quincy Planning Board last week, Adams National Historical Park Superintendent Marianne Peak said the project as it stands is too tall and too dense for that neighborhood.
If a condominium is the best option, so be it. That's not a problem. But we want to consider reducing the height from 4 to 3 stories. Why? Because the 4 stories really impacts our skyscape, our vision and how we look forward. And from the birthplaces, it's almost an arm's length. You almost feel like you can reach out and touch it. And to have that tower before us changes the whole dynamic of the community. This has been an ongoing recommendation of the community that has not been addressed since the initial community meeting. We asked that they consider expanding the setback for this structure more than 2 feet. It just seems to be on top of the sidewalk with no real people space, no pedestrian space.
Other opponents also argue that the project doesn't fit with that area. The developer did agree to eliminate the first-floor commercial space, remove 2 parking spaces, and pull the building back 2 feet from the sidewalk for more green space, but opponents were not swayed. The board continued that hearing until June 26th. The zoning board will also discuss that proposal at their meeting on June 18th. Quincy City Council unanimously approving an order that would make Lunar New Year a school holiday in Quincy. The vote came earlier this week after City Solicitor Jim Timmons said that when the initial plan to make Lunar New Year a legal city holiday was changed to a school holiday, it fell within the City Council's authority.
After studying the amended ordinance, I could find no impediment to voting on this ordinance. This is very different from the one that was submitted, which was looking to declare a municipal holiday, which is something that the state has the sole sovereign authority over. This is amended. I acknowledge the hard work of Councilor Liang with respect to that amendment, and after reviewing things, this is very much a matter of first impression in the Commonwealth, I'll say that. But there are no impediments to the body voting on it this evening.
School committee had previously voted against making Lunar New Year a school holiday, so now it's unclear if the school committee will have to vote again on the issue. This week, the school committee did vote to seek funding for an outside attorney to review the issue and issue an opinion. Mayor Thomas Koch and school committee woman Courtney Perdios voted against funding an outside attorney. Well, a bit of a shakeup in the Quincy Elder Services Department this week. Mayor Thomas Koch fired Director Tom Clasby and appointed Recreation Director Michelle Hanley as the new Elder Services Director. Hanley's been Recreation Director for the past 5 years, but she was an Assistant Recreation Director since 2010. Clasby had been on paid leave since April 19th when the mayor said financial irregularities were discovered in his department. Koch says there is enough evidence to warrant Clasby's termination, although a police investigation into the irregularities is still ongoing. The mayor said Hanley has helped coordinate the successful Senior Olympics for the past several years and is familiar with the workings of the Kennedy Center. Mayor also says he will work with the Commissioner of Natural Resources, Dave Murphy, to find a new recreation director. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, we sit down with Hillary Miller from the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library. That's next. Welcome back. The Thomas Crane Public Library here in Quincy. Always a busy and active place, both during the day and even in the off hours. And a lot of those other programs are made possible by the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library. Hillary Miller is back as a friend to give us an update on what's going on. Great to see you, Hillary.
Oh, so good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. It's been a little while, actually. I think last fall since we had an update,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah, so long overdue.
Yes, yes. Well, there's been a lot happening, though, so a lot to catch up on.
Indeed, yeah. Before we get into any of that, tell me just kind of a brief overview. What are the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library?
Oh, absolutely. So the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission it is to support the library. So we do this in many ways through fundraising and providing funds for library programming. So it's a great organization for people who really just love the library, see the value in the community, and want to give back in some way.
Right, and add a lot to it, right, in terms of performances or artistic displays or children's activities that's not included in the regular library budget.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of everything,
Right.
from museum passes to events to items that can be checked out in the library, too.
You're kind of like the boosters, the library boosters.
Exactly.
Folks
Always-
want to relate it to a school connotation.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
a great way of thinking of it.
How many friends are there, roughly, even just roughly?
Oh, we have a couple of hundred friends.
Wow,
Yes, and
okay.
we could always use more, though. There's always room for more friends.
Never have too many friends, right?
Never have too many.
But as you mentioned, you are a registered 501c3, so you have a kind of a corporate structure, right? There's a board.
There is a board,
regular
yes.
meetings, yep.
Regular meetings. We actually just had our annual meeting
okay.
recently, but
Great.
we can talk about that later if you'd like.
Yeah,
or-
we will do that, but
Yeah.
I thought we could start with maybe the most recent event that happened yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday, yeah,
That's
breaking
right.
news.
Yeah, exactly. So the Thomas Crane Public Library had its grand opening yesterday for the Cranium Makerspace. I think that name is just very clever, so I'm a big fan. So this is a space, it is on the first floor of the library where people can come in and create, invent, learn. It's a collaborative area. So they will have different types of items for that creation process, like 3D printers or craft supplies, metal stamping kits, a little bit of everything. So if you have some creative juices that are flowing, the makerspace is going to be a great place to go.
Wow.
And the Friends were able to provide some funding to get some of the materials and the machines, the things that you'll be using
That's
to
fantastic.
do that creating in the
Yeah.
makerspace.
And open to all the library patrons?
Yes,
Okay.
well, once we hit July, we
Okay.
will be open, or that space will be open to the public.
Yep.
But if you are just itching to get in there between now and then, there are some opportunities to get in there and learn a little bit more. There are some dates coming
Yeah,
up.
please tell us, yeah.
There was actually an open house today,
Oh, okay.
so we just missed
We
that
just missed
one.
that one, okay.
Just missed that one. But there's going to be another open house next Thursday, May 30th,
Okay.
from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then again on Thursday, June 4th, from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
So if people are interested in learning more about what a makerspace is and what you can do in it, those are the open house hours. There are a number of other events planned in the makerspace.
Really?
Based on certain different types of crafts. All of that information can be found on the library website
Okay.
if anybody would like to check it out before
Okay.
then.
It's just at the main branch right now?
At the main branch, that's
Okay.
correct.
And is it kind of is it a supervised area where you have programming and a leader that will show you how to use these things, or is it just kind of figure it out yourself?
I think there will be a mix of both.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's one of those things that a lot of people learn in an environment where they are being taught and they can learn new skills that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to just get in there and get in there with some craft materials
Yeah.
and see what they can learn and what they
Okay,
can
let
create.
their imagination go wild.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, some of these items will also be available eventually to check out through the library's Library of Things. So
Yes.
some of the objects and items and machines, the materials can be taken home
Oh.
for maybe that creation in your own space.
You have an idea that you just can't finish in the library, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. Now, the creations that are made, do the folks who make them get to keep them, or what's the story with that? Or is it they're going to be having like a display of makerspace materials?
Oh, I believe I do not know for
Oh, all
sure.
right, okay.
I don't know for sure.
All right.
I do believe though that they encourage people to have those materials to take home.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's a great question for the library.
Okay.
But again, just grand opening yesterday.
Yep.
It was a nice event with a great turnout.
good.
And the library also received support, in addition to support from the Friends. Senator Keenan also was able to help secure funding for that.
Oh, super.
So there are many people coming together to make this great project
Yeah.
happen.
Well, it's so different, it's than what you think of as a normal, quote unquote traditional library. I mean, things and 3D printers and laser cutters, not the things you associate with a library.
No, it's really amazing what
Yeah.
libraries are here in the 21st century. They are community spaces, and thinking about learning isn't just from books anymore. It happens in many different ways,
Sure.
and that this is a resource for the community. If you are trying to apply for jobs, there are resources at the library to help you. So really, all aspects of your life, you can enhance it in some way at the library.
It's really true. I know that there's been a literacy program at the library for many, many years for folks who don't speak English as a primary language, and I'm sure that's continuing as well. And other things that folks should explore that they might not be aware of.
Oh, absolutely. The calendar on the Thomas Crane Public Library
Yes.
website is a great place to see what is coming up and
sure.
what might fit into people's schedules.
Yes. So you mentioned there was the annual meeting not too long ago.
Yes, that was just last week.
Oh, okay.
May 14th, I believe, was the date.
Okay.
So every year, the Friends of the Library have a public meeting. Of course, we got to get that business part done.
Of course.
That's very important to our operations.
Absolutely.
But we mix a little bit of pleasure in there with the business too. We actually had a presentation from Adam Centimore. He is a food and wine professional, actually based out of Quincy, and has a book that is in the library's circulating collection. But he came to talk to us about the history of chocolate.
No kidding.
And yes, that did include a tasting.
Of course it did.
Yes.
Very good. What is the history of chocolate?
Oh, it's a very long history.
Yeah.
A lot of it really began with the Mayans and the Aztecs
Yes.
there, and chocolate was not something you ate, it was something you drank early on.
Ah.
So he walked us through the whole history, the process of making chocolate, different types of chocolate, and we got to taste 5 different types. So I love chocolate in all of its forms, really. So I was very happy with that.
Sure.
So that's something we always try to do with our annual meeting, is have a program where it's educational but also fun. So that's something that you can always look forward to in the spring,
Okay.
is the Friends annual meeting, and these are open to the public.
I'm guessing at that meeting you laid out kind of what you'd hope to achieve for 2024, right?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking ahead and what we achieved, especially in this last
Oh,
year,
sure,
and
yeah.
thinking about all the different types of programs that we're able to support at the library through memberships and fundraising efforts,
Yeah,
and also purchases at our bookstore.
Yes, which is, I know, a main driver for the Friends, right? It's kind of like the feather in your cap.
It is.
Yeah. In a new location, how's that working out now?
Oh, it's working out fantastically.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you so much for asking. We are now located on the first floor of the atrium in the main library. It's just the main library at this point. So hard to miss us.
Right.
We are there.
Yeah.
We're open most days of the week, at least for a couple of hours. Many of those hours are in the afternoon, but Thursday nights, I believe, are the nights where we have evening hours.
Okay.
So really anybody can stop in, browse the collection in there to see what they can find. There's a little bit of something for everyone. And if you do miss the bookstore when it's open, there is also a selection in the atrium of books that are typically $4 for $1, some sort of great deal like that. And you can even still you're able to still purchase those after bookstore hours are
okay.
over for the day.
Okay. Is it your main source of fundraising, would you say, is the bookstore?
That and memberships.
Memberships? Okay,
Yes,
sure,
yes.
okay.
So, and again, that's all the funds that really help support these programs.
Right.
But we need people to help support the bookstore too.
Sure.
We could still use some donations for the bookstore for books and media like DVDs.
People
and
ask
music.
me all the time, can I make donations? So the answer is yes.
Yeah, so if you are, it's springtime now, doing
Yeah.
a little bit of spring cleaning, have some books and DVDs and CDs in great, good condition, bring them over to the bookstore,
Mm-hmm. Okay, all
and
right.
we'd be happy to take them. We just don't take things like textbooks, encyclopedias,
things that-
VHSs.
VHSs. Younger folks don't know what we're talking about, Hillary. But things that are dated, like textbooks, there would be a market for, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, and I know space is limited. so
Space is very limited, but even so, many of our books do leave the shelves pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So we really need those donations to help us keep running as a bookstore.
Absolutely. And I understand now that you accept credit.
That is correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have credit card machines now, so it's really a great way to support the bookstore.
So many people don't carry cash anymore.
We
so,
really don't.
yeah.
We really don't. Or you save it till you know that you absolutely have to use it. So, yeah, credit cards, easy to do those transactions.
Sure.
Make it very easy.
It won't be long. Summer will be here soon, and folks will be looking for things to do with their families. Museum passes are always popular, right?
They are,
Yeah.
and they are supported by the Friends of the Library. Museum passes, all of the passes and the information's on the library website.
Okay.
There are some restrictions, though, about how many times a month you can check the passes out, but it's a great way to get out into the community, not just Quincy, but the greater Boston area, and see what you can explore through this program through the library.
Yeah, all of the big museums I know are included, right?
Mm-hmm.
Museum of Fine Art, the New England Aquarium I know is on there as well. So chances are you'll find something that you will be able to use.
Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what type of institution it is. There's all sorts represented, from children's museums to art museums, history, and beyond.
Absolutely. What else? After hours events coming up.
Yes, yeah. Thinking of things to do this summer.
Yeah, I know the license board just approved it earlier this week. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So if you are 21 plus
Yes.
and looking for something to do on June 14th in the evening from, I think, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.,
Yep.
it's time to come to summer camp
Okay.
at the Thomas Crane Public Library.
Adult summer camp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thinking about that nostalgic summer camp vibe is what we're going for the event.
Okay.
It is sponsored by the Friends. It will be outside on the Olmsted lawn
Oh, it'll
at
be
the
outside.
library.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so there will be music, ice cream, and a cash bar.
Fun, okay.
So yeah, definitely adult summer camp there. That sounds like a great time.
Absolutely. The Olmsted, that's the first I've heard of it referred to as the Olmsted Lawn. Makes perfect sense, of course.
Yes, thinking about that relationship between Frederick Law Olmsted and H.H. Richardson,
Yes.
laying that foundation for that wonderful space we enjoy today.
Yeah, it's such an iconic location in the square.
It is.
You know, you see a picture of it, and people identify immediately with that area of Quincy Center, and they know where you are without even having to tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah. What else?
Oh, let's see. Well, all of these programs are being supported by membership, as we mentioned. That's something really important that we want to note, is that there are multiple ways to join the Friends of the Library.
Do tell.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can join by sending in a check with a membership form. This information is available on the library website. There's a section for the Friends, so you can go there. Also, in addition to getting that information to send in a check, you can also pay online directly through the website.
course.
So memberships range from $10 up to $50.
Okay.
And you can take additional donations as well. Many benefits to joining the Friends of the Library. You do get our newsletter that comes out a couple of times a year, so you are up to date on all the news, what's happening in the garden, what events are happening, and then you just get to know that you're working to support our library.
Absolutely. Do you have to be a Quincy resident to be a friend of the Thomas Crane Library?
You do not. We have
No.
friends from all over.
Okay.
We encourage friends from all over.
Sure.
So you do not need to be living here in Quincy. You can also potentially make a gift in somebody's name too,
Oh,
and
all
somebody
right.
in honor of them or in memory of them.
Nice, okay. Maybe a former patron who would appreciate their name living on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, very good. Anything else?
So that we have, let's see.
Open houses, I know,
Open
are coming up,
houses are
yeah.
coming up, and again, those dates are next Thursday, the 30th, and then also on Thursday, June 4th, for
Okay.
the open houses for the maker spaces there. So that's going to be really exciting to see how that develops throughout the year. And along with that, we continue to have the Library of Things that have been supported through the library, through the Friends. That is located on the second floor. The
Okay.
Library of Things is on the second floor of the main library.
Okay.
So, and again, that's a space for people maybe want to have some equipment at home but don't need it regularly. Think about like those large standing mixers or power tools that they just need it for a specific project or they want to check it out.
Yeah.
You can get it through the Library of Things.
Yeah, it's like a borrowing library of things instead of books, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's very novel and unique. I don't know of any other libraries that have such a thing.
I think we're starting to see more and more, which
Is
is
that
really
right?
exciting.
Yeah, okay. Do the Friends have regular meetings, Hillary? Do you know where folks can attend?
So our board meetings
Yeah.
happen on a monthly basis.
Okay.
We will take a little bit of a break sometimes in the summer months as people head out of town. However, if anybody would like to know more about the Friends, they are welcome to reach out through our email address or phone number. If they want to get to know more, see what we're up to. But then the annual meeting every year is open to the public.
Okay.
And again, we mix business and pleasure, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, you had chocolate last time, so maybe wine next time.
Yeah, a little bit more complicated to plan that one,
suppose,
but
yeah.
always something going on.
So great to talk to you and get an update. Really appreciate it. Please come back.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me.
Great to see you, Hillary. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. It is spectacular. We have brilliant sunshine, dry conditions, and warm temperatures in the mid-80s this afternoon. Feel of summer. Comfortable this evening. The humidity is gone, thankfully, and that sets us up for a pretty nice weekend. Tomorrow, lots of sun, a little bit cooler. Still okay on Sunday. Look out for a spot shower, and definitely watch out for some showers around on Memorial Day itself with a high around 70 degrees. Thanks again to Hillary Miller for joining us from the Friends of the Thomas Crane Library. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Speaking of Monday, we're off for the Memorial Day holiday. Join us next Friday, and we'll have representatives from Quincy Community Action Programs here on the program. Meantime, it's our website for you, qatv.org. You'll find all of our latest programs there. There's news, information, video on demand, live streaming, much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a happy and safe holiday weekend.